الله حي ذو امتنان مولى وما له مكان سبحانه قد جل عن أين وكيف وزمان.
قال المؤلف رحمه الله, the author, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, وحالة كون الشخص متأولا باجتهاده في فهم الشرع. Alright, now this is a very important case. Insha'Allah ta'ala, I don't know if we'll finish it today. The fifth case of excuses from uttered blasphemy is the case of a person who has a misunderstanding. I'll say it like that for now. The case of a person who has a misunderstanding in understanding something from the religion. فإنه لا يكفر المتأول إلا إذا كان تأوله في القطعيات فأخطأ. For indeed, the one who has a misconception does not blaspheme except when his misinterpretation was in the definitive matters, and then he made a mistake. He made a mistake in the definitive matters. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يُعْذَرُ, then he won't be excused. كتأول الذين قالوا بقدم العالم وأزليته, like the misinterpretation of those who take the position of the eternality of the world, that the world has no beginning and that it is eternal. Kabni Taymiyyah, like Ibn Taymiyyah, this one is not excused, regardless of whatever evidence he tried to use to prove his point. وأما مثال من لا يكفر ممن تأول فهو كتأول الذين منعوا الزكاة في عهد أبي بكر. As for an example of who does not blaspheme among those who had a misinterpretation, that's like the misinterpretation of those who refused to pay the zakah during the time of Abu Bakr. بأن الزكاة وجبت في عهد الرسول. Their misinterpretation is that the zakah was only obligatory during the time of the messenger. لأن صلاته كانت عليهم سكنا لهم وطهرة, because his supplication for them, because he would make supplication for them, he was commanded to make supplication for them when he would take their zakah. And his supplication would be tranquility for them and purity for them, meaning mercy and serenity. وَأَنَّ ذَلِكَ انْقَطَعَ بِمَوْتِهِ, and all of that cut off by his death. It ceased by the Prophet's passing, according to them. فَإِنَّ الصَّحَابَةَ لَمْ يُكَفِّرُوهُمْ, the Sahaba did not deem them as kuffar. So are we going to deem them as kuffar if the Sahaba didn't do it? We're not going to do that. فَإِنَّ الصَّحَابَةَ لَمْ يُكَفِّرُوهُمْ لِذَلِكَ, the companions did not deem them as kuffar for this misinterpretation. لِأَنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ فَهِمُوا مِنْ قَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى, because they understood from the saying of God, exalted is He, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. Which means, take from their money, O Muhammad, a charity that purifies them, and pray for them. Indeed, your supplications are tranquility for them. They understood from this ayah أن المراد من قوله خذ أي يا محمد الزكاة, that what's intended by khudh in the ayah, which means take, is Muhammad specifically. O Muhammad, you take the zakah. لِتَكُونَ إِذَا دَفَعُوهَا إِلَيْكَ سَكَنًا لَهُمْ, so that when they pay that zakah to you, Muhammad, that would be a tranquility for them. وَأَنَّ هَذَا لَا يَحْصُلُ بَعْدَ وَفَاتِهِ, they said this doesn't happen after he died. فَلَا يَجِبُ عَلَيْهِمْ دَفْعُهَا, and so it is no longer obligatory on them to pay the zakah. لِأَنَّهُ قَدْ مَاتَ, because the Prophet died. وَهُوَ الْمَأْمُورُ بِأَخْذِهَا مِنْهُمْ, and he was the one who was commanded to take that zakah from them. وَلَمْ يَفْهَمُوا أَنَّ الْحُكْمَ عَامٌ فِي حَالِ حَيَاتِهِ, and they did not understand that the judgment is general during his life, وَبَعْدَ مَوْتِهِ, and after his death. وإنما قاتلهم أبو بكر كما قاتل المرتدين الذين اتبعوا مسيلمة الكذاب في دعواه النبوة. And the only reason Abu Bakr fought them like he fought the apostates who followed Musaylima, mendacious Musaylima, في دعواه النبوة, in his claim of prophethood. لأنه ما كان يمكنه أن يأخذ منهم قهرا بدون قتال, because he was not able to take it from them forcefully without fighting them. The Shaykh's statement here is like the answer to a question. It's like someone asked the Shaykh, Shaykh, if they didn't commit kufr, how come Abu Bakr fought them like he fought those who did commit kufr? So the Shaykh gave the answer. The only reason why he fought them like he fought the apostates who followed mendacious Musaylima in his claim of prophethood, because he wasn't able to take the money from them forcefully without fighting them. لأنهم كانوا ذوي قوة, because they were strong, they were mobilized. فاضطر إلى القتال, so he was forced to fight them. It was reported that Abu Bakr had a conference and they were deciding what to do about the apostates and those who don't pay the zakat. So it was suggested that Abu Bakr, since they were not making takfir on those who didn't pay the zakah, they still judged them as Muslims. It was suggested to him that they use them to fight the apostates first and then fight them afterwards. So Abu Bakr said, no. If I leave them while they're like that, then after that someone will come and say, we don't want to pray anymore. So he wanted to fight them right away. And who was with him didn't support him in that. So he went to go strap up, and he said, I'll go fight them by myself. So then they took him seriously and they went with him. وَكَذَلِكَ الَّذِينَ فَسَّرُوا قَوْلَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى, and likewise those who misinterpreted the saying of Allah, exalted is He, فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُنْتَهُونَ, it means, are you going to desist? بِأَنَّهُ تَخْيِيرٌ وَلَيْسَ تَحْرِيمًا لِلْخَمْرِ, they interpreted it as giving a choice and not as forbidding wine. فَشَرِبُوهَا, so they drank wine. لِأَنَّ عُمَرَ مَا كَفَّرَهُمْ, because Umar, he did not charge them as blasphemers. This is another incident. Some people said that drinking wine is permissible because they misinterpreted an ayah from the Quran. How come they're not deemed kuffar? Because of the nature of their misinterpretation. So Umar did not deem them as kuffar. وَإِنَّمَا قَالْ اجْلِدُوهُمْ ثَمَانِينَ ثَمَانِينَ, instead he merely said, whip them 80 lashes each. ثُمَّ إِنْ عَادُوا فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ, then if they return to it, then execute them. If they return to what, brothers? Tell me, what does Umar mean here when he says, فَإِنْ عَادُوا فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ, if they return to it, then execute them. Yes, if they return to saying it's permissible. Not if they return to drinking, because drinking is not punishable by execution. So that's not what Umar's talking about. Rawahu ibn Abi Shaybah, that's narrated in Ibn Abi Shaybah. Ibn Abi Shaybah has a Musannaf. The Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shaybah. Ash-SharH قوله فَقْتُلُوهُمْ, the explanation, his saying, execute them, أي إن عادوا إلى استحلال الخمر, meaning if they return to legalizing wine. أما في زماننا هذا فلا عذر لمن ينكر حرمة الخمر. As for in this time of ours, there is no excuse for whoever denies the prohibition of wine. ممن كان يعيش بين المسلمين, for anyone who is living among Muslims. لأنه في زماننا انتشر حرمة الخمر بين المسلمين, because in our time the prohibition of wine is spread amongst the Muslims. ولا يخفى على من يعيش بينهم ذلك, and it is not unknown to whoever lives among them that is not unknown to them. فصار معلوما من الدين بالضرورة, and so it became known in the religion by necessity. But in those days, because there was a time when wine was not haram, and then the prohibition of that was abrogated, so it became haram. Also, there was a time when mut'ah was not haram, but then it became abrogated. So it's possible that there were people who yet didn't know that some things, the rule had changed. So they might have still been doing something old until they knew. قال المؤلف رحمه الله, the author, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, إنما كفروا الآخرين الذين ارتدوا عن الإسلام لتصديقهم لمسيلمة الكذاب. They only charged with blasphemy those who committed apostasy from Islam for believing in Musaylimah al-Kadhab, الذي دعا الرسالة, the one who claimed prophethood. فمقاتلتهم لهؤلاء الذين تأولوا منع الزكاة على هذا الوجه كان لأخذ الحق الواجب عليهم في أموالهم. So they're fighting these who misinterpreted and withheld paying the zakah in this way. It was for taking the obligatory right on their money. وَذَلِكَ كَقِتَالِ الْبُغَاةِ وَذَلِكَ كَقِتَالِ الْبُغَاةِ. You have two calves there, then a cough. وَذَلِكَ كَقِتَالِ الْبُغَاةِ, and that is like fighting the unjust rebels. فَإِنَّهُمْ لَا يُقَاتَلُونَ لِكُفْرِهِمْ. They are not fought for blasphemy. بَلْ يُقَاتَلُونَ لِرَدِّهِمْ إِلَى طَاعَةِ الْخَلِيفَةِ. Instead, they are fought for bringing them back to the obedience of the caliph. كَالَّذِينَ قَاتَلَهُمْ سَيِّدُنَا عَلِيٌّ كَالَّذِينَ قَاتَلَهُمْ سَيِّدُنَا عَلِيٌّ فِي الْوَقَائِعِ الثَّلَاثِ. Like those whom our master Ali fought them in the three incidents. وقعت الجمل, the incident of Al-Jamal, ووقعت الصفين مع معاوية, and the incident of Siffin with Muawiyah. ووقعت النهروان مع الخوارج, and the incident of Nahrawan with the Khawarij. على أن من الخوارج صنفا هم كفار حقيقة. That's along with the fact that among the Khawarij there's a group that are kuffar in reality. فَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ حُكْمُهُمُ الْخَاص. So those, they have their own judgment. Meaning, Ali, he fought three groups. One of those groups were Khawarij. But we're talking about fighting people who are Muslims. We're talking about fighting people who didn't commit kufr. How come Abu Bakr fought those people who withheld the zakah if they weren't kuffar? He fought them like they were kuffar. So how are we saying they're not kuffar? He fought them to take the money from them that was due to be paid as zakah. And he couldn't leave them like that. So yes, he did fight them like he fought the apostates, but not for apostasy. And his fighting them was like Ali's fighting those that he had to fight. He didn't fight them for apostasy. He fought them for other than apostasy. However, the Shaykh says, but when it comes to the Khawarij, there were among them people who actually were blasphemers. So they have a particular judgment. الشرح الذي يصدق من يدعي النبوة بعد سيدنا محمد فهو كافر مكذب. The explanation is that whoever believes in whoever claims prophethood after our master Muhammad, then he is a kafir. فهو كافر مكذب لقول الله. He is a kafir, a blasphemer who belies the saying of Allah. وَخَاتَمَ النَّبِيِّينَ, which means Muhammad is the seal of the messengers. وَلِقَوْلِ النَّبِيِّ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ وَخُتِمَ بِيَ النَّبِيُّونَ, and the saying of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, وَخُتِمَ بِيَ النَّبِيُّونَ, by me prophethood was sealed. Rawahu Muslim. Muslim narrated that. وأما البغاة الظالمون الذين تمردوا على الخليفة الراشد علي بن أبي طالب, and as for the unjust rebels who rebelled against the guided Caliph Ali ibn Abi Talib, كالذين تمردوا عليه في الوقائع الثلاث المشهورة, like those who fought against him or rebelled against him in the three famous incidents, فَلَيْسَ لَهُمْ حُكْمُ الْمُرْتَدِّينَ, they do not have the judgment of the apostates.
الله حي ذو امتناء أولى وما له مكان سبحانه